Hey guys, it's Austin back with Treeman Rotary here. I'm sick today if you can't tell. What I'm just going to show you here today quick is how to put ball joints in these first gens. So this is my obviously redone setup. So I did all new bushings and sway bar end links and ball joints and everything in this front end, which I'm going to show in a different video, but this one specifically I'll just show this new ball joint here. So basically buy your new ball joint from, I get mine from Rock Auto, but buy your stuff from wherever, and you have to get the old ones out and press these ones in. So let me sit down here quick. If you look underneath, see how close we can get. I actually pressed mine in to that control arm there, and then I tack welded it in there. The reason I did that was to hold it in better, because I don't want it to be falling out, because it would be a total pain in the butt. So that is my new ball joint pressed in, and there's the tack weld you can see there. Tack welded in like it should be in this car, for example, because I never plan on doing these again. I'm going to show you why here in just a second. So let me get up quick if I can. There's a new suspension setup is all in there, all repainted and everything. You might be able to tell it's a little smoky in here, because doing these turds takes a lot more effort than you would think, at least up north here. So this is basically what the bottom side of your strut looks like. You got these two bolts, supposed to be bolts, that screw into the actual strut tube, and this holds on the steering knuckle and the ball joint to the actual strut. So you can take these two off, and you take this piece off. When you take that off, you have your ball joint still connected to your control arm right here, and then over here you would have your steering knuckle thing, whatever they call that. I can't remember right now. Looks like this. So that's kind of what it looks like. Now if you look under here, you can see that ball joint right here that I had to cut off, hence the smoke. And then here is what this part looks like separated. So this is the part where your strut would actually sit down onto this, and then your strut is hollow underneath to allow for the nut from the ball joint to sit up higher to about here. And so this thing is for the wrong side here, but it's basically going to bolt up like this. Your ball joint comes through here, nut right here, and then you bolt this to the strut tube, and then this goes on the outer tie rod end. So in rehabbing this, I found that obviously I had to cut apart the old one in order to get it to work, because those things are so rusted shut that it's pretty much impossible to get those out. What I'm doing here is running a GSLSE front spindle to match my GSLSE rear end, so I'll have a full GSLSE suspension in this car. And I'm going to have two brand new bolts going in here. Also, just for reference, here is the bolt that I chose to use. This is a metric M12 by, let me double check before I tell you the wrong information, because I would totally do this. This is an M12 by 30 millimeter 1.5 pitch hex cap screw, and I am putting a lock washer on it. And so if you look at this thing, I didn't know this before, but this side is thicker than this side, so when this comes up through here, it fits just about perfectly. And it's actually going to go on this side, which is a little bit thicker, and then this side is a little bit thinner on the strut tube. Sorry about that. This side's thinner on the strut tube, but this side is thicker. I don't know, maybe to compensate for that. So this one, when you stick it through this hole, actually doesn't get a whole lot of thread engagement. You can see. So I might actually go get a longer bolt for that side. So if I'm going to recommend it, I'd say get A couple, like for this you need four bolts. Get 2 of them at 30 millimeters like this, and then get 2 of them at about 40 millimeters to go through that thing, and then engage in the same spot in this side, just to be taken up by that little extra thickness here. You could probably just do like 35, but normally you find them in 40. Also, thing I hinted at earlier is I will show you a picture here of what it looks like to take ball joints out of these cars. It's practically impossible up here north. So the cap, or the bolt, was stripped, so I had to cut it basically in half in 2 different spots. This thing would focus for me. Oh, this is terrible. So I had to basically cut it in half, snap it. Then you have to push it out the bottom. You can't pull it out this top. You can't come out this way. It's got to go that way through the thing, because this is a tapered hole. So getting these out is an absolute pain up here north. I'll show you on my old suspension over here if I can get at it with decent lighting. Probably not, but on this old one I had to cut them off, and when you do that, they are extremely difficult. They're not extremely difficult to cut off, but when you get them off, then you got to press that out. It's an absolute pain in the butt. What I ended up doing was I cut the, or actually, yeah, I cross-cut. I went this way and this way, cut it into quarters, cut the top and the bottom of the ball joint, and then I basically had to press the I didn't even have a press, but I took a puller and used it in the opposite direction and pushed the ball of the ball joint out out the backside of the ball joint retainer, I guess is what you'd call it. And then after doing that, I had to come in through the thing, because it's hollow in the middle then, and take a sawzall and sawzall the retainer in half, and then pound the retainer out, and then basically you have to press the new ball joint in, and then you have to tack weld the new one in just to make sure that it holds it, and then you should be all good to go. So that is kind of a quick explanation of putting a totally asinine, should be asininely easy job, turns into like a day job on this thing. And I got really lucky because I have this strut that I've refurbished like a year and a half, 2 years ago. That's really sad that I haven't put that in yet, but that they've been sitting around with like fresh bolt holes and everything, so I don't have to worry about getting those old bolts out of those ones, because I couldn't imagine having to do that on your own car. So yeah, that's kind of the, I don't know, 10-minute explanation or so about pressing out or getting out old ball joints of a first gen and then replacing them. So that is the quick and dirty of that. Thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate it. This is Austin with Dream and Rotary. Keep on rotating, fellas.